Hi everyone, welcome to this mini-series on the recorder technique. Today's episode is not only for recorder players, but also for singers and other wind instrumentalists, because today we're going to work on breath control, and that's something that we've all got in common. So today we're going to speak about air. And if you look at the mechanics of breathing, like breathing in your belly, obviously you're not breathing in your belly. What you're doing is pulling down with your abdominals the diaphragm that's attached to the lungs. So you open up the lungs. There's another way of breathing that's here. And that's not so good actually. And there are two reasons for it. So here we're using the chest muscles, and they're not as strong as the abdominal muscles. And there's the second disadvantage. Look what happens to this zone. So you probably see it's getting tense. So this is what breathing here does to your neck, to your throat. It closes it up and it tenses the trapezium muscle as well. So we want to practice to breathe with these muscles, right? So what exercises do we do? Well, before I continue, just something important. Do we breathe through the nose or through the mouth? Seems a very essential, easy question. But a lot of recorder players don't notice that when they're breathing out, they're also breathing through their nose. So we have to breathe in and out through the mouth. First of all, when I breathe in through my nose, it's going to make a lot of noise. So it's going to sound like this. Doesn't help, right? And second, if I exhale through my nose, if it's not completely closed off, my sound is going to sound very airy. So oh, and I'm completely out of air within seconds almost. So, well, I'm leaking a lot through the nose now. So when we play the recorder, we inhale and exhale exclusively through the mouth. So exercises. We've got a couple of exercises of becoming conscious of where we have to do the work. So one of them is the exercise of the panting dog. And for this, we've got a similar exercise in yoga. It's called breath of fire, but they're using the nose. But I do want to start with that. In yoga, this exercise is used to get oxygen in the body, to detox. So it's very interesting. You should look up more information about it. So what they do is they're going to exhale and inhale at the same speed, but very quickly. So it's going to be like this. And it has to be very energetic outwards. Of course, when you breathe in a little bit more than that you breathe out, you're going to have too much air. So you have to balance that. So there we go. It's a very interesting exercise. So we, as recorder players, would do the exercise of the panting dog. So that's the same, but through the mouth. There we go. So you notice that's actually moving. It's a very good exercise. Now, another exercise is to say consonants like P, T, and K. Like, for example, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. And you do it very actively. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. So let's do that one together, okay? There we go. 1, 2, 3. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. Awesome. Next, there's the exercise of breathing against a mirror. So this is going to practice slow and controlled breath, which is what we use in the recorder. So imagine a mirror and you have to put condensation on it. So you would do it like this. It's a matter of maintaining, right? Shall we try that together? There we go. 1, 2, 3. It's better if you do it with an actual mirror. Great. Another very good exercise is bending forward with your hands on where your kidneys are. And when you're bent forward completely, your head is hanging loose, you're going to feel that since there's not so much space here, it moves out a little bit more here than you would normally feel. But the trick is, when you're upright, you should also be able to feel it. So even like this, if I put my hands here, when I inhale, I can feel it move also in my back. So let's bend forward and try that. So you hang your head completely loose, you hang completely forward, and you exhale completely, and then you inhale. And you exhale again, and now take the biggest inhale that you've taken all week. So you will notice it moves. Now what happens if you go up vertebra by vertebra with a round spine? And halfway, you try it again. When you inhale, do you still feel it's going outward? And then you're going up until you're completely up. Can you still feel it? Okay, so that's a very good exercise. And the last exercise is going to be one that's closest to when we're actually playing. So the rest position of the diaphragm is something like this. And when we exhale completely, it goes to a position of tension. So then if you just open up the body, it comes back to its natural position, and then you can help it. You just inhale a little bit more, but here of course. But until we do that, let's just first practice the exhaling and opening up the body. And then naturally it just comes in. Okay, there we go. Opening up. Did you feel it? Great, right? Okay, so now we're going to do step 2. So we're going to exhale everything. We open up the body, and then we help it a little bit with the abdominals, opening up the lungs a little bit more, bringing of course the diaphragm in another position of tension. But that's the thing you have to do when you're a wind instrument player. It's always going to be in tension. So there we go. We exhale. We let go. And we help it by inhaling a little bit more. We blow out little by little. Past the 0 point, the natural point. Exhale even more. Open up. And help a little bit more. So this is an excellent way of starting to work with a good breathing technique. Okay, great. Let's move on. Now we've got the recorder. First of all, I would recommend that you practice breathing in front of a mirror with or without the recorder. So you could always practice with one hand here or one hand here. Another very important point is that a basic tone should be very smooth, like a lake with no wave at all. So vibrato is an ornament, but like your basic tone should be smooth. So when people are playing this vibrato-like tone all the time, this is not a good basic recorder technique. And if you play vibrato, it should be very controlled. So this kind of playing implies that there is a vibrato that's not controlled, perhaps even with some tension in the throat. So when we do make a vibrato as an ornament, that can be done in two separate ways. First of all, there is an air vibrato, and we do that by blowing more, less, more, less, more, less, more, less. So you get this wave in your air. And the second is a finger vibrato, especially in French Baroque music. So what they do there is they cover part of a finger hole and they move like this. And since it's only a small part of the hole, it's not going to be like a trill, it's not going to sound, but rather that's very beautiful also. So now that we know we need a smooth tone, what I would also recommend is finding the center of each tone. Each tone of any recorder has its center in which it resonates most. For me, it sings around my head. So that's the point you have to find. And for that, it's best to practice, if you can, every day, long notes. A long F, or if you're on the soprano recorder, a long C, C sharp if you're already doing the chromatic scale, etc. So I have to find that. Actually, the recorder doesn't have a lot of dynamics. We've got like this range, and here is the center. So here it sounds a little bit forced, like a little bit aggressive, and here it sounds a bit weak. So we want that nice center in the middle. And some tones don't have that much space. So this brings me to my next point. For low notes, the air is going to be slower. And for high notes, the air is going to be faster. So this doesn't mean we blow less or we blow harder, but it's really about the velocity with which the air travels. So down there, the air is slow, and up there, the air is faster. But there's another parameter, and that's about how broad the air is. So you can make your air broader or you can make it thinner. Then we've already got 4 possibilities. I can blow with broad, slow air. And I can also blow with thin and fast air. And when I try to make that air a little bit broader, it's just going to add a little bit more, but you will notice it. So that's a difference we can make, and this is like the beginning of dynamics. On my webpage you will find a PDF with all of this information. At lobke.world, go to Documents, that's either in the menu in the top right corner or scrolling down on the homepage. Besides tutorials and guides, there are also my academical writings and music scores. Subscribe to my email list if you would like to receive news and updates. And with this, we've come to the end of our episode on air. So, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Share this video if you think that's good. And follow me in the next video that's going to be about posture. you.